What's going on, WoW nerds? We're back with a brand new leveling video. There's a lot to talk about going into this video, so let's get straight to it. With Shadowlands just around the corner, pre-patch is now released on live servers. With pre-patch comes the level squish. Rage, what do we do now? How am I supposed to level? I want more ults, what's the fastest way to level? With all these questions, we have answers and more. Sit back, make a new character, and let's start the leveling experience. Make sure to follow my Twitch to see me do these leveling runs live. I stream 3 to 4 times a week. You can also see when I'm live by following my Twitter and turning notifs on to get notified of all my live tweets. Feel free to come through and ask me any questions or just hang out while we level and play WoW together. So here it is, the patch we've all been waiting for. Shadowlands is coming and I know you're all super excited for it. I absolutely cannot wait to get right into this expansion as the leveling experience itself has made this very enjoyable. Let's start with some basics. First off, I did not use any XP pots. We did use heirlooms for this run as the rest of the XP bonus did help and not having to worry about gear switching was a bonus. I leveled an allied race, the Void Elf, to help cut down the time as we started out at level 10. If you don't have allied races unlocked or prefer a classic race, then have no fear because this run will be about the same for you. I will say starting out here, Alliance is a little easier going forward for leveling than Horde. Also, if you're a new player, go for Exile's Reach. It's a great zone Blizzard implemented to teach you how to play WoW and also to use your class you might not have tried before. So let's get right into it. As an Alliance allied character, we saw off in the allied zone and quickly make our way to Stormwind. Here we got a couple of standard starting quests. We want to completely ignore those and go straight to Chromie sitting near the allied race ambassador base. For the best experience, we want to choose Draenor here. Yes, I know we're all tired of Draenor at this point. Trust me, the XP here is insane. We get the first quest to start us for Draenor. Before we go ahead, you have an option here. It is not completely necessary to turn on War Mode, but on some realms it does net you quite a big XP bonus. As an Alliance on Proudmoore, I was able to get a 25% bonus to my XP, so we went with it. My advice for the first zone, you should have this on. The Draenor questline starts you in a scenario that only you and your own faction can take part in. As an Alliance, we move into Shadowmoon Valley, which is an Alliance-controlled area in Draenor. You shouldn't have an issue running into PvP situations here. The XP here is massive. With so many quests set together, it makes this area really strong for early leveling. There's honestly not much to say. Go through the quest chains back to back and continue to burn through them. Dungeons don't give much XP anymore, so questing is the optimal source of leveling. Also, they kind of ruined objective zones as they don't reward very much XP anymore. You should also never take a fight with rares if possible. They give just as much XP as regular mobs do. This sounds super monotonous, but this goes by very fast. At levels 20, 30, and 40, you get an upgrade to your mount speeds plus flying. Oh, and I forgot to mention, everyone has flying in Draenor now. With this, make sure you heart to Stormwind or a place that has a mount trainer, and make sure you get your respective training to increase the process of questing. Leveling in Draenor makes it super easy to come right back using your Garrison Hearthstone. After you've quested yourself out in Shadowmoon, the next step is to move on to Gorgon. For me, there was way too many people here. As Gorgon was a popular hotspot to grind XP, this area usually is very heavily populated depending on your server and shard. If this place is too much, as it was for me, I decided to try a little experiment and move to Legion. I honestly enjoyed the Legion leveling myself back during current content, so this was a big reason for me. The quests are also very linear as there are chapters to each zone that help push you forward to where you need to be. A little tip here is that since these zones are mixed with Horde and Alliance, it's up to you whether you want to keep War Mode on or not. Now here's a trick that I learned during my Legion leveling. Make sure you go into it with at least one Goblin Glider. You can find these for really cheap on the auction house. If you don't have flying for some reason, you can actually jump off the edge of Dalaran and Goblin Glide all the way to Azuna. This completely skips the quest where you have to obtain your class hull and your class weapons. This will skip so much time as these quests give hardly any XP and are filled with dialogue that will make your leveling experience slow. If you have flying, you can fly right down to Azuna. Here we just start in Azuna and quest forward. Nothing much to explain here. Just go along the way like you were normally questing. Depending on how much XP you've gotten so far decides on how many Legion zones you'll have to do. At this point, I went from Azuna to Val. After Val, I decided instead of doing the rest of the zones, I would move on to BFA content and try out those zones. Like I said, for the most part, these zones are zone by zone, and each one gives the same XP based on your level. It comes down to what you prefer for these. I could have kept going in Legion areas and probably leveled up at the same speed. The most important part of the whole run was making sure we started in Draenor. Shadowmoon Valley has way more quests in one area than the other area's single zones. This gives us a good push at the start. At the end of the leveling experience, it comes down to personal preference. My advice is to go with areas that have chapters, like Legion and BFA, to help guide you along the way as you level. These tend to be more linear and give a lot of bonus XP on some of the end quests. All in all, you can tell questing experience is a lot faster. It makes having alts possible as it cuts down the time by a little more than half. My first video I made was a leveling guide from 1 to 120 in less than 24 hours, and now I can't believe I'm making another leveling guide for less than 10 hours. This level squish and new leveling experience was much needed, as it felt like it was such a chore to have to level a couple of alts. I hope they continue this path with being alt friendly and bring in new and fresh ideas on how to keep alts involved with our accounts. As an altaholic, this was a must. Once again, if you have any questions or suggestions, please make sure to drop them in the comments below. Also, liking this video helps us get on the recommended page. Until next time.